Welcome everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about the 10 steps to build your dream life. Now, before I got on to this recording, I did some research and I started to look at people's lives. And my life is actually the dream life of many people. Many people look at my life and they say, I wish I had your life. I wish I had your confidence or your body or whatever, right? Like they can see something that I have and that they want. And I started to think, well, there's a lot of dreams in this world and we all have them. Many people who have those dreams will never reach them. Why won't those people reach those dreams if we all have them? Why won't people be more deliberate in what they do and how they act? It's because maybe they were never taught. It's because they might not know the secrets to building a dream. They might not know that the end result of our dream being fulfilled is dependent on us taking action. So today is going to be an opportunity for you to begin to take action, to you to be reminded to take action. And for the people who are having a hard time figuring out their dreams or going after their dreams, this episode is going to be for you. Because I want to make it so that you can get to your dreams. But before we do that, we do have to understand at least a simple step process. And these 10 steps are going to be helping us get to those dreams. So let's take a quick look at those 10 steps and then we're going to have our discussion. All right, everyone, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and to share the video and or audio to help build a community of like-minded individuals. So today we're going to be talking about the 10 steps to build your dream life here on Coaching in Session. And this is what we want to build. Because before I got on the recording, I have found that many people have dreams, many people have hopes, many people are sitting in desperation or silent desperation is what I want to call it. They don't take action. They wait, they hope, and sometimes luck comes their way. Sometimes things can change their life for the better, but those blessings don't just happen overnight. We need to become deliberate in what we do. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be full of challenges and struggles and hardships, but that's going to make us better. So as we look at step one is going to be defining your vision. Now, this is going to be helping you understand the different aspects such as career, relationship, health, personal development. What is that vision? What people do in step one when they define your vision is they'll do a vision board, they'll do a journal, they'll write it down. They'll create a mantra for themselves, and all of those are powerful things. But what I have found through my years of coaching is that eventually that is going to dissipate. However, people remember what you say to them. If you don't believe that, tell someone that you love something negative. It's going to sear in their brain, their heart, their soul for as long as they live. Now, I don't want you to be negative, but I just want you to understand that concept. People listen to what you say, especially people you love. Your vision should not just be written down on a piece of paper, put someplace very nice that you're going to see every morning. It has power. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but you need to tell at least 3 people. Tell at least 3 to 5 people about your vision, why you're going to be doing it. And then from there, step 1 is going to be solidified. Then we go into step 2. Step 2 is going to be setting specific goals. So that's breaking down your vision into achievable and measurable steps. Okay, so if you want to do something like lose weight, or if you want to buy a house, or if you want to start a company, what are the actionable steps? If you get a coach, the coach is going to be walking you through all the steps because it just makes sense. Sometimes people don't even know where to begin because they have maybe never did it before. When I first started a business, I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to learn those steps, and now I can help people start businesses. I can help people with sales and marketing and things like that. Now, is my coaching specific to that? No, I don't like doing it. But if a friend, a family member comes and asks me, sure, I don't mind saying, what I did, how I do things, because I understand that when we're trying to move and progress, it is much easier when you have someone who has already been there, someone who is at an elevated level that can help lift you up. It is so much more beneficial that way. So when you have your goal, you have your vision, Find the people that are going to help you take those steps in the right direction. You can write the steps yourself and you can be doing a lot of trial and error. And this is why I say coaching is so powerful. We mitigate a lot of that trial and error. And you don't want to be going through life just trial and error and everything. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself at the other end of life with a bunch of mistakes, a bunch of wisdom, but you didn't make much progress. We shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel every single time we want to drive a car. So we use what other people have created to continue on with what they started. Yes, someone made the wheel, but now we can make electric cars, we can make sports cars, all because of one small invention. And that is going to be multiplied even with your vision, your dreams, and your goals. And then we get into step 3. Step 3 is going to be developing a plan. So we're going to have outline actionable steps to reach those goals, create a roadmap that includes short-term and long-term actions. Of course, it is going to be similar to step 2, setting specific goals, but those specific goals are going to be, of course, 10 pounds, starting 10 businesses, running a 5K or being able up to run a 5K. That's going to be our end goal. And we need to still create a timeline. We need to get people to help us with step 2. So then when we get to step 3, we can develop the plan now. And this plan is going to be going through multiple renditions. You're not going to just make a plan and be automatically successful. You might have to do things and it might take some time. And you might say, okay, that didn't work. Let me adjust. And if you can collaborate with people, you're going to do a lot better. So figure out what type of roadmap you need for the short term and then the long term, because short term is going to look different than the long term. Think of investing, think of retirement. Your short term investments might be different than your long term investments. For example, a long term investment might be a Roth IRA or 401k, and a short term investment might be day trading. Okay, so there are different ways to do it. Step 3, develop a plan. Then we get into step 4, cultivate positive habits. I talk about positivity all the time here on the podcast, and I cannot live my life without positivity. It might seem like, you're just talking about all this positive stuff. The world's so negative, and it is negative. I'm not here to say the world is not negative, but we can do a better job at creating positive habits in our life, because when you can develop positive habits, then you're going to start to see you have more energy, you have more discipline, and you're able to do the things that you're supposed to be doing. Now, the caveat with those positive habits is you just can't say, well, my positive habits, I want to be smiling at people. Now, unless you're on customer service or sales, it might not align with your goals. So you need to figure out what type of positive habits you have to have with your goals. And if you don't know, get a coach. A coach is going to be helping you to find those positive habits that are going to be specific to your goals. If you don't know what positive habits are specific to your goals, send me an email, coachinginsession@gmail.com. Be more than happy to give you those positive habits. It is easier when you have someone that you're working with, because cultivating positive habits can be disrupted on the onset of a negative habit. If you remember what I said in the past here on the podcast, it holds true to this day. It takes 3 positives to get rid of 1 negative. So if you have a negative in your life, you need to figure out how to be more positive. Now, positive habits are going to be different than positive thinking, but positive habits are going to help be that mobile unit, that vehicle that is going to help you reach your goals. Then we get into step 5, invest in educational and skills. What are we doing here on Coaching in Session? We are being that investment for you at no cost. You can invest in your education, your knowledge base, your wisdom skills, and you can learn how to do things, how to think about things, and we bring coaching to you in a different way. Because I can easily say, well, in order to get this podcast, you have to subscribe, and you can only listen to my podcast if you are this level of member. And I know that's a way for me to make more money, but at some level, I want to show people that it's not only about the money. I've learned early on in my career, when I was young, 18, 19, 20, that money wasn't going to make me happy. And I talk about the story quite often on the podcast in certain situations where I'm being interviewed, where I was, making good money for that age. And I was like, okay, well, I'm so stressed out because of work. I'm just working, 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 hanging out with my girlfriend at the time. I was just like, I'm just miserable. Like, I'm just making all this money. I'm seeing my bank account just do this, just elevate. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go on a shopping spree. So I would do some retail therapy, and that was good for about 2 weeks. And then I said, I was right back to where I was. And I was like, like this can't be life, right? So I had to invest in education, getting a coach, getting a mentor, learning. I got a financial advisor at that time. I think I was 19 when I got my first financial advisor. It's something that many young men and women don't do. People wait until they're like 35 to get financial advisors. I started a bit early. All right. So I'm ahead of the game. And I remember my advisor at the time, he said, I wish I got started at your age. And so we can get started today, right? With our dreams, with our progress. But we do need the skills. We need the education. And how you get it is going to be dependent on you. You could read a bunch of books. You can listen to a bunch of podcasts like Coaching in Session. Or you can get a coach. You can get a mentor. You can get a guide, someone that's going to help you. But you do have to have some skin in the game. Then we get into step 6, and that's going to be managing our finances wisely. As I said, my money was going up and up and up, and I was going to retail therapy, and I only did it once because I understood that, I can't keep this up because it's just going to make me miserable. I'm going to have a wardrobe of stuff I'd never wear. And I did have a lot of clothes, and a lot of those clothes I ended up giving away. My mom got mad at me because I didn't give them away to like a family or something. I just gave them away to like a Goodwill place. And during that time, of me accumulating all these materialistic goods, I started to see just dust and dust and dust pile on these things that I once loved and revered. And I said, whoa, this is crazy. So I'm wasting my money on things that are frivolous, that things that the momentary pleasures that we give ourselves. And they feel good in the beginning, for like 15 minutes, maybe a day or two. And then you're kind of like, okay, I'm over it. We do have to manage our money better. We are sold a dream, especially here in the West, that you have to have the latest and greatest, and you have to be up to date, and you have to have all the things that make other people jealous, right? Well, I'm here to debunk that, where you don't have to have all of those new and latest greatest things, the new iPhones, the new TVs, and the new computers and stuff like that. You don't have to have the latest and the greatest. Now, I know the companies that are selling you this make you think you should have it, but you don't need it. So people will put, their credit cards on the table and say, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. But now they're struggling to make ends meet. Maybe they lose a job. And now you are not really good at your finances. Another aspect to finances is, are you investing in your future? Investing in your future doesn't have to be in a 401k and a Roth IRA, even though they are great vehicles for that. You might say, I'm going to write a book. And I'm going to invest in my today for tomorrow because the book is going to be a labor of love. You're going to maybe not see returns for 8 to 12 months, right? That can be a long time, especially if you need money now. So manage your finances wisely. Don't spend money on many subscriptions and, have a bunch of expenses going out every single month because you think you need it, when in reality you can live with a lot less. We used to not have smartphones that can do everything that they do now, and we survived. Yet, children today, if they are missing their smartphone for a certain period of time, it feels like they're so disconnected. What really needs to happen is that we need to learn a new type of connection that's going to be with us. And sometimes we have to stop spending money in order to find that. Then we get into step 7. This is something I preach about quite often here on the podcast. Prioritize your health and your well-being. You want to make sure that you are doing the best thing possible for yourself. Now, if you are not prioritizing your health and you're just, eating the foods that you feel like, and you're not maybe getting the exercise you need, it's going to be one of those things that you regret. Most people are going to have regrets at the end of their life of or for the things that they never did. Of course, there's going to be some things that people regret if they got in a car accident that changed someone's life, if they said something to someone. All that can be, watered down to, well, what didn't you do, right? Maybe if you were drunk and you got in a car, that could be a regret. But the thing you didn't do was admitting you were drunk and saying, I'm going to leave my car in the parking lot and risk it getting towed because that is going to be insignificant to the weight that I have to deal with for the rest of my life if I get in a car accident. That's just one example. We can go example after example after example. We can find the no regret policy thing. For some people, they think regret is going to be, well, I regret, meeting this person or doing this thing. It's all about making sure that you don't do things that are going to ruin your life. For young men, that's typically having a baby with the wrong woman, going to jail, and getting killed, okay? Like doing drugs and stuff like that, being in a gang and getting hurt. We do need to prioritize our health and well-being too, okay? Because health is more than just, do you look good? Can you run a mile? Are you eating salads and stuff like that? Like, it's more than that. It's, are you being well? Literally, like, can you say that you're well in your body, mind, and soul? And if not, keep on listening. Coaching session. I have many wonderful episodes about prioritizing your health, being well in life. I had many other coaches come on, talk about the aspect of well-being, and we have many more episodes coming that are on the calendar that are going to be amazing for you to get into better health and well-being. Then we get into step 8, and step 8 is going to be building a support network of individuals. So you want to surround yourself with positive and like-minded individuals who encourage your growth. Now, this might be contrary to belief because many people think that they need a whole following, they need a whole army in order to take over, when you only need about 5 people, maybe 10 at most, and those are going to be your closest individuals. Men, you do want to find like-minded individuals who are wired for growth and challenge and adversity, who are in shape most likely or have some level of fitness. You are going to work together with them. You can pull in resources, and you're going to find that building that support network can be pulling your resources in. You might say that I don't need a support network like that. I just need someone to hold me accountable. You can get a coach, a life coach. You can start to build that support network. You can get a team of people, mastermind group, and you can have accountability partners, and you can build yourself from there. So it just depends on what you're trying to build. And depending on how much you're trying to impact in the world, is going to require a different or maybe a different number of support networks. Because you do have to understand that many support networks that general people are going to be in, their church, their immediate family, relationships, right? Those are going to be people who support you. However, those support networks are going to not challenge you the way a coach or an individual business partner can. Not every business partner is created equally, because some business partners are not going to be good for you. So I'm not saying go out, get a business partner who has a great idea. I have many people who come to me and they go, Michael, I would love to have some of your money and I'll give you a piece of my business. It's almost like this is Shark Tank. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a shark. I'm not here lending out money. I don't do that. If you have a great idea, yeah, sure, tell me about it. I'm a coach. I'm going to say if it's good or not. If I feel the need to invest, if your company goes public, that's going to be something I do. But it's not going to be angel investor situation where it's like, oh yes, I'm going to give you money and I'm going to, see where this goes. The reason why I don't do that is because I have found that it can tarnish relationships so quickly. Money is like evil almost. If you have too much, you're attacked. And if you give money to the wrong people, you are, looked at as a problem too, because it's like, you only gave me $10,000. That's why the business didn't succeed or something. I mean, there's just so much to it, right? So you need to make sure that the support network that you're building is going to be of competent people who are ambitious, but then also have the previous 7 steps, a plan, the goal, etc. Right? If they don't have those initial 7 steps, I would recommend don't even building a network with them quite yet. I would just say, hey, check out these 7 steps or these 10 steps. Let me know when you have gone through them and what you have implemented after listening or watching this video. So you are going to be, again, being in a better place. Building that support network is going to be dependent on you. Then we're going to get into step 9, and that is going to be embracing challenges. Now, my life is not easy, nor do I want it to be easy. Sometimes I forget how much I have struggled, challenged, and went through to get to the point that where I am today. Though there's some moments of uncertainty in my life, I say, you know what? Just because I have a moment of uncertainty, it doesn't necessarily mean that I need to continue to run away from these challenges. Challenges can build you up. Failures can build you up. They don't feel good sometimes, but that is what we need, especially when we're growing our dream life. We need some challenge because it just makes it better. If we have everything given to us, for example, you're not going to be able to keep it. Think of financial literacy. People who win the lotto, 80% or something of them, I think, are, some crazy number. They're all broke. Why? Because they didn't build financial literacy. I think it was step 6. Learn about your finances. Learn how to manage money. Yes, maybe your parents didn't teach you. Of course, the schools are not teaching you, but it doesn't mean that you have to remain ignorant. Learn a new skill. Learn how to manage yourself. And then we get into step 10. And this is going to be one of those controversial ones because people would think that, you need to practice gratitude in the beginning. But when you practice gratitude at the end of everything, you can appreciate the work you just did. Literally. I just wrote out my goals. I just found the support network I needed. And you can be grateful for all aspects of those previous 9 steps. You can be grateful for your life. You can be grateful for having a roof over your head. You can be grateful for having your 9-to-5 rat race job. You can be grateful for that in step 1. But when you're grateful for something on step 1, the mind does something crazy and is almost counterintuitive to our conversation. It creates complacency. So being gracious can be good, but it can also have a negative aspect to it. So these are going to be the 10 steps. Quickly run through them again so everyone knows. The 10 steps to build your dream life. Step 1, define your vision. Step 2, set specific goals. Step 3, develop a plan. Step 4, cultivate positive habits. Step 5, invest in education and skills. Step 6, manage finances wisely. Step 7, prioritize health and well-being. Step 8, build a support network. Step 9, embrace challenges. And step 10, practice gratitude. So all of what I talked about in these 10 steps can be a lot to take in. I understand that. And this is where you have to figure out, what do you want to do? And I always say, make sure you have someone on your team, someone on your side who's going to help you get to where you want to be. When I start to look at people who are successful, we look at Denzel Washington, Jamie Foxx is another one, Morgan Freeman. Those men, and I know they're all black men, but those are actors. I'm just giving one genre. We can even go into other people, Leonardo DiCaprio. Those actors, right? Just an actor in general. They were given an actor coach, a mentor, other actors in the industry that helped them, guide them. Even greats like Kobe Bryant, he looked for greatness himself. He found that in Michael Jordan. And he would call Michael Jordan and text Michael and say, hey, I have a question. And he learned. He was passionate about what he was doing, what he was trying to accomplish. He had a dream. He had a goal. He had a vision. And he said, I'm not going to stop until I get it. And we have to have some level of dedication, just like Kobe did. Just like the Michael Jordans of the world, just like the Denzel Washingtons and the Morgan Freemans and the Leonardo DiCaprios and all the greatest in the world. Whether you're an actor, you're a music professional, you are blue collar industry CEO, it doesn't necessarily matter your profession. There are people who have already built what you're trying to build, especially in our world today. There are going to be some situations where you're going to have an idea and it might be new, but most ideas are not going to be avant-garde. Just because it's not avant-garde, it doesn't mean that your dream is not something you should go after. For example, sometimes people have dreams of having a daycare or owning a school. Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of schools all across the world, especially in America. maybe up to 1 million. I don't know if it would reach 1 million, but I can see it reaching millions of schools all over the globe. When we look at that, the possibility, you might think, well, there's enough schools. There's not. Well, people are not having babies. It doesn't matter. We need more schools, especially schools that are going to invoke a different type of thinking. Montessori, private, Catholic, Christian schools. We have different types of schools. Charter schools are another example. What are you trying to accomplish in the education of your child, right? If you're a parent, you should know what your children are learning. I understand in the public school system, we have a curriculum, but then we also have a lot of politics and opinion-based teaching in our current public system. So one thing that has to happen is we have to get rid of that type of education. When we are trying to build our dream, it starts at a young age. We have our imagination, we have our will, our determination, and we're ambitious. However, somewhere happens during school, our dreams are crushed. We are not as ambitious anymore. We are not as willing to fail anymore. Just as we were when we were a kid, we could make mistakes and it was okay. But now we're looking at things with a fine-tooth comb. And there's going to be times in our plans and our goals where we will look at things like that. But life has a bigger picture. Life has meaning behind it. Our dreams should be fulfilled. Our dreams should become reality. We should not be wishing or hoping or living in a fantasy-based world where we think luck is going to be there for us all the time and that everything is going to be given to us. Though that would be wonderful, that you can just have everyone, helping each other and everyone is going to be successful, it wouldn't work that way. And it's the same thing as if I gave everyone an equal amount of money in the world. Everyone has the same amount of money. Everyone is equal, right? How long would that equality last? 3 months? Because the people who have their hands in the money now are going to have it in 3 months. After I give everyone equal shares of monies, because the people who want everything given to them don't know these 10 steps. They don't know how to create a vision, their goals, how to have a healthy mindset, body, positive habits, manage finances. That was the point I was trying to get at. Somewhere you're lacking in these 10 steps. And if you can learn how to master these 10 steps and learn how to implement these steps into your life, you're going to find that you're going to be closer to your dream life every single day. It's not something I recommend doing alone. I always tell people, get someone along for the ride. It's not going to cost you any more than the time that you're spending needlessly on your phone in front of the TV. Those hours cost money. I understand you just worked a 9 to 5. You're tired when you get home. You might have kids and responsibilities. I understand that. We need to figure out what to do because of it after that. We talked about building our dream life today. It's an important step. We need to have the goal, right? The vision to what we want to do. We need to have the plan to get there. We need to be surrounded by the people who are going to help us get there. But then we also need to look at our own circumstances and say, I'm effing up in this area. I need to adjust. How can I adjust? Most people won't adjust naturally unless they have a trauma, hardship, negativity, etc. However, there is a way around that. Get a coach, get a mentor, get a guide. That right there is going to be putting some skin in the game, and you're going to take more action today than if you did everything by yourself. A war is not meant to be fought alone, yet many people think they're these lone warriors that they have to go in alone, that they have to do everything by themselves. Get yourself someone that's going to be on your team, that's going to sit on your side of the table, and they're also going to fight for you. Because many people are tired of fighting for themselves. So why not get someone who can support you in that fight of life? My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.